Bitcoin is pumping right now as expected to the upside. And now we have to talk about altcoins, because a lot of altcoins are getting here in position for a massive run. And you want to know which ones to buy and what was the catalyst yesterday for this new explosion. If you want to know what I'm talking about, make sure that you subscribe to the channel, like this video, also activate the bell so that you will never miss out on these really important updates. And now let's directly jump into this. So I want today to kick off with the weekly chart, because remember guys, I told you it is really important for Bitcoin to actually close the weekly candle within the middle or above that green support area here, and that Bitcoin reclaims that area. And now we see exactly this happening here live in front of our eyes, that the Bitcoin price now moved back above that support area. And if we can get a little bit higher, then we're gonna see another squeeze to around $70,000 potentially in the next 48 hours. Remember, I told you also it was really important that we at least come back to like 61 in the last 48 hours. I said this like 2 days ago. There you go, exactly as we predicted it. This candle looks super bullish for a macro structure, because this is a massive wick that we have here, which just shows how much strength is here right now in the market, and leading potentially to continuation to the upside in alignment. The stochastic RSI giving us by tomorrow's weekly candle close most likely the first sign of a bullish crossover, which would then basically cement continuation to the upside, which we anyway would expect in the bull market. But now, what was the reason yesterday? Because it happened yesterday, we just see today the ripple effects of it. What happened yesterday that led to a break of over $60,000? There is a $63 million reason for that. And I will give it to you right now. So the reason for that is that Grayscale, for the first time ever, had a positive inflow day. And all the other spot ETFs followed suit what Grayscale did. So there's not one ETF right now dumping yesterday. They were all buying, besides here BTCW. I had no idea why they did not buy, but everybody else was buying yesterday. So now you ask yourself, particularly yesterday, everybody was buying. What did they know what nobody else knew? There is no big secret here. The only thing what they did was they basically bought the dip, because you have to understand how ETFs are settled. It's not that they are deciding now to buy and 2 hours later the order is executed. It takes 24 hours or even a little bit longer to execute a spot ETF order. And therefore, this is from the day before, where we were around $57,000, where the people actually were aping into the market and buying the dip. And now we see the result of that. So they did this on Thursday. Thursday they decided they want to buy the dip. Friday they got executed. Friday we get the numbers. So that's how it works. Otherwise we would get, so the Friday numbers will come out, basically what they did on Friday will come out on Monday, so just that you know how these things are working, I know it can be a little bit confusing. So, but this is basically institutions buying the dip. So, and this is another reason for me to tell you that we were right here on this channel once again when I called the bottom, not only on the channel, but also on Twitter, where I said the bottom is most likely in. And when institutions coming with that amount of money into the market, you can be pretty sure they see what everybody else is seeing, and that is that we have bottomed out. Now, when we're going into the shorter time frames, this rising wedge pattern did a bull market move. Again, I also told you yesterday that we should be prepared for something like this, and this happened before in bull markets that we see actually something like this playing out, where we go against the grain and they break to the upside and we get continuation here. Also down here, I was again right that this is our higher low in the macro structure. Remember, here is one, now here is one, and now the next one, in my opinion, will be either up here somewhere or even higher. So technically it could also be somewhere here, you know, somewhere between just around $60,000 or 64. But normally, when we're looking at the last one, there was at 50,000. The next one was like almost $8,000 higher. So if we would go about it in that manner, then the next one would have a high chance to be around $64,000, $67,000. Something else that I want to point out here on the 4-hourly chart, super bullish right now for Bitcoin, is that this downward sloping trend is finally broken. So this trend went on for over a month. I think I said this to you guys like a week ago or something like that. That I said that these downward sloping trends, they're normally, especially in the bull market, never lasting more than 4 to 6 weeks. So we came a little bit early here to break this, which is fine. We basically did it after 24 days. But the key takeaway here is that in a bull market, at some point within a 4 to 6 week ratio, they always get broken and shifting the trend back to the upside. Here, I still want to give you a word of caution, because here is a horizontal level that Bitcoin now needs to hold, because otherwise we are risking to falling below that downward sloping trend line again and getting a retest and then only go up. That retest and the small correction here would not be the unhealthiest thing for Bitcoin right now, because look how parabolic we went here over the last 24 hours again. And we are in a bull market. You know, it's not something super crazy special when we see something like this. But of course, for a sustainable trend, this is not sustainable. You know, so especially imagine we get now another candle get to like 67. You know, so then for sure we're gonna see some sort of retracement and a consolidation phase before we get continuation to the upside. If we just keep going parabolic, the harder we go to the upside, the harder will be also the fall. But regardless, the next resistance here, major resistance for Bitcoin, is at $67,000, and the next target, if you're still in the trade that I've given you, would be here in this range. Remember, here is an imbalance sitting from $65,000 to $66,500 approximately. That is the next target here for Bitcoin. Something else that actually just spotted, is that we are forming here potentially an inverse head and shoulders pattern. I just saw this when I was looking at this again. So here, to complete this inverse head and shoulders, we would also need to form the right shoulder. So it means correction, a little bit sideways, then back to the upside. And the neckline would be actually the $67,000 level. So now, again, we don't have the right shoulder yet, you know, so this is hypothetically right now. But if we would get a right shoulder and we would come afterwards to a $67,000 level, the technical target would be somewhere around $77,650. So this is actually good if you wanna have like a midterm trade on Bitcoin once we're breaking the neckline. Now, when we go here in this 4-hourly chart, for me, it was really important that we are flipping the EMA ribbon again, which we are seeing right now. The ribbon is also coiling up and twisting here to the upside, but we need to stay here at least until tomorrow in this price range from 63 to 64, let it be even 62 to 64, and range here to stay above the ribbon so that the ribbon can actually flip back into an uptrend and and also the price starts breaking out of this massive triangle that we were forming here. So what I'm seeing right now could be the precursor of the breakout to the upside. And remember, the target is the top of this pattern, which is sitting around $73,900 more or less. Now, when we're going to this 4-hourly chart, you see here all the imbalances that I was speaking about, the one that's just sitting above us. We are right now in the process of flipping this area back into support, the $63,000 to $63,800 area approximately. And this will give you another good potential entry if you are looking for long in Bitcoin. But I will give you an entry where you just just put some limits orders there, you know. So if it will not get executed, it's fine. Just put them there, you know, put them there until we break $67,000, then I would remove them. And this is the imbalance that we just formed here, this candle here, actually. So from $59,600 to $61,300. So here, just stack some limit orders, 61,400, 61, 60,500, 60,000, 59,500. So on every order, I would put like 20%. And then once we're turning around, and don't get me wrong, we will turn around here at some point. The question is from what point we are going to turn around, you know. So it could be, like I said, that we go straight to $67,000, then turn around, then we will bounce off that support area and most likely for a long time not fill the imbalance sitting down below here. So I just want you to be aware of that. And that's why I'm saying, you know, so if we touch 67,000, cancel all these orders here because most likely they will not get filled in the short term. So, but if not, if we are starting to turn around here over the next couple hours, then these are the levels where you want to build your next long position from. Now here on the shorter time frames, on the 1 hourly chart, we are still looking quite bullish overall. For once, we are holding the upward sloping trend line here, the dashed one that I drawn in. And of course, I also want to congratulate everybody that took the trade that I had given you here over the last 2 days. We smashed even higher than the initial target that I had. Remember, guys, I like to give conservative targets because usually we hit all of them, and went a little bit higher than expected here on this trade. And now I can tell you from how the indicators are looking that we are definitely going to see some follow through here over the next 3-4 hours. The only question is how high can it go? You know, so my opinion, potentially $65,500. Then we will be overextended again. Best case, bull flag, then another last final move to the upside before we then need to find somewhere support and consolidate. You know, so if we're coming down beforehand and we are basically just consolidating under this resistance, then again, like I said, get ready that we are seeing something like this. On this 1 hourly chart was another pattern that I wanted to show you guys. So here again, first, this area is now confirmed support. Here we are, oh, we have it already done, I think. Technically, no, we didn't. So here is still one pattern forming that has not been completed yet, but I also want to warn you here, if the pattern is not completing in the next coming hours, then it will be invalidated, you know, so just want to give you a heads up. But there is a potential play here on the 1 hourly chart that is a cup and handle pattern. So here's the massive cup. I believe that this here could be part of the handle. The handle would look something like this. You get a breakout to the upside. So the question is, how high would be this breakout? Let's say I would break out from here. So here another $70,600 target. So that is roughly 10% to the upside here. If you trade this with 20x leverage, you make 200% on a Bitcoin trade, which is really, really nice. So look out for that. As long as we are holding this support area here from 62,600 to 63,700 approximately, I would slowly, again, don't bet the house on it, you know. So, but if you want to trade this particular pattern, I would maybe start buying 5-10%, you know, so already here in that area, and then see if Bitcoin will fall through, you know, and go lower, like I showed you on the other chart, or will actually find support in this range, gain momentum, and continue to go to the upside. And guys, don't forget, if you want to trade anywhere, trade with me on a BYBIT. Most of my trades are still happening on BYBIT. You still get $30,000 in deposit bonuses for using my link down below here. And also, you can trade without any KYC on Margex. Also here, my trade is finally in profit again, $230, $250. It's changing quite fast, you know, a $60,000 trade here on Solana. Also, the link is down below here. And if you cannot use BYBIT, then use BITGET or Phemex, especially if you are in the US or in the UK. You still get over $8,000 in deposit bonuses on Phemex, and on FAIRDESK, the highest bonus in the industry, $120,000 if you want to copy trade me. You find all these links in the pinned comment below and in the description under this video, and you are also supporting the channel by using one of these links. So now, when we're going into liquidation levels, first of all, here on the 4-hourly chart, on this 4-hourly chart, we see here the 50 moving average and the 200 finally moving in the direction that we wanted to see, and that is that the price action went above the 50 moving average here, is testing the 200 right now, that is acting as resistance. Once we are breaking above that, we will see here a nice follow through over the next couple of hours from the 50 moving average going in direction of our golden cross. Once we are getting our golden cross here, we most likely going to see Bitcoin close or above $70,000 once again, and starting to liquidate everybody here to the upside on the short side. Now, when it comes to liquidation levels, I told you for such a long time that the direction is to the upside. We're gonna see short squeezes when we are starting to break into high leveraged areas. So here's kind of a good mix of low and high leveraged positions, and I believe once we are breaking through this, we could see another squeeze here, to $67,000, $67,250, and from there a further squeeze really fast in to like $70,000, even a little bit higher, 71,500 approximately. So, but this could be hindered right now a little bit because the stochastic RSI is here exactly as I told you guys yesterday, intertwining in the top range, and at some level this is coming down like this, you know, so at some point it will correct completely to the downside. This will most likely also reflect in the price action, where we're going to see something like this coming up here, maybe something like this, and then go back to the upside. Now, when we're looking at the liquidation heat map, so we see here we are starting to eat into these really juicy liquidations, you know, so the market makers decided, okay, the weekend is a good moment to start making money, you know, so here, if they just push to $65,000, there's another $1 billion that they are snatching. Then I think there's now even more than $10 billion worth of short liquidations. So here 1.55 at almost $71,900. There's almost $1.55 billion worth of liquidation. So once that is getting liquidated, we should see a really nice God candle on Bitcoin, you know. So, and here also $1.24 billion at $73,300. Wow, only in the $73,000 range is like $4 billion worth of shorts. So yeah, so the massive candle coming once we are tapping these areas here. Below us, you can see there's not really a lot to tap into, but for a more accurate picture, we have to go into the shorter time frames here. That could be an area of interest when we are starting to correct. Like I said here, $62,000. And here the hot area, $61,000 approximately. I think this one will get tapped over the next coming hours, potentially. Maybe early also next week, before we see the continuous move to $70,000. But in the meantime, altcoins will do well, guys. Don't be worried about that, you know. So I believe altcoins will do really well at the same time. Because the funding rates, they are still not overheated, you know, so let me actually refresh that. I think I did not refresh that. Today, still nothing overheated at all. I don't know. Yeah, see, even if I take it down to 50%, Yelly API, still nothing overheated. BNB is like ice cold. The same Bitcoin Cash, you know, also ice cold in funding rates. So here we did not even get started to see massive leverage in the market again, you know. So, and prices are already moving like crazy again. So, and this is of course always really nice to see here. Now, when we're going to the Bitcoin dominance, The dominance is, of course, moving to the upside because Bitcoin just moved like 10% in the last 24 hours. So I'm not surprised about this move. If Bitcoin starts to slow down and start to consolidate, then I believe that we are not breaking the 55% level here anytime soon. Most likely going to see a rejection from there, and then altcoins will have even a brighter moment to shine as they do already. Then when we're going to the USDT dominance, here's happening exactly what I was telling you guys, so that major resistance area is holding, and once we're losing the 5% level, we're going to see the market exploding, which we're basically experiencing here right now over the course of this day. And we were going to see even a bigger explosion if we can break here under 4.75%. So I'm really hoping that this is going to break this week at some point, actually next week, that this is going to break. I'm just trying to see if I can make out a pattern here. Not really, but we can maybe make an argument that this upwards trend is about to be lost, so with today's daily close. So which could be already a bullish precursor here, so if we lose this level, then we potentially then start going lower from here. The total market cap also exactly as I was expecting it behaving here. We are holding on to this $2.3 trillion level. Massive wick also here. Now, if we close this candle as it is and we see some follow through next week, something like this, then this evening star pattern will be also a reversal pattern with a local bottom indication over here, and then we will finally move in direction of the $3 trillion mark that we are waiting with so much anticipation. When we are looking at Ethereum, here on Ethereum, I still would be a little bit cautious because we still have this rising wedge here for the time being. We tried to break out of it, but failed now in the last couple minutes, and we have only 3 minutes left to close this 4-hourly candle. This looks to me like a rejection from the volume traded area that I spoke about at $3,150 more or less. Remember guys, I told you if you cannot get through this level, we're gonna see a rejection from there. We'll come down a little bit again, most likely to $3,000, find momentum from there and then go back to the upside. So if we can hold the Monday low, that's more or less where we are sitting right now at $3,120 over the next, let's say, 12 hours while the stochastic is coming down, the stochastic RSI, then fine. Ethereum will see another nice leg to the upside into the prior Monday high here of $3,300 in my opinion. Otherwise, just be prepared that we will come down a little bit. I don't expect that we go all the way back down to the technical target of the rising wedge here to like $2,700. But I think the upper $3,000 mark, $3,020, $3,030 mark will be touched here one more time. And then we do something like this and then we go to the upside. Now, on the daily, we are looking a little bit better because we're just testing the downward sloping trend line right now of this falling wedge pattern. If we can close this as it is today and see tomorrow a breakout and a reclaim of $360, that would be for me the nail in the coffin to say, okay, here was W pattern playing out, so W now completed, and the technical target of this W pattern is here at $3,900, really close to the $4,000 mark. If we would see something like this playing out, where the price action completes this W pattern, goes above the golden ratio, finds here support, bounces off, I think with this bounce off, it would be more or less for me confirmed that Ethereum is ready to go and break $4,000. The indicators have still a lot of room to grow here to the upside. So a move into $4,000 is something that I would not rule out here over the next 7 to 10 days. A lot of you guys actually are here for altcoins, to make money on altcoins. So let's start talk about altcoins. The first one that we're going to talk about is Solana. Solana is also in this rising wedge here, and the price action is now coming down into my second buy zone. So if you missed the first one down here, this is your second chance, more or less. And again, don't bet the house on that second area. just buy here. I would actually buy like 25-40% of the position that I want to build. If you haven't built one yet on leverage, here at the $144-$143 mark, so and if we lose this zone here, then most likely we are coming back down into this area down here of $135-$140, and here again stack some orders like 20% each, 140, 138, 136, so just to make sure that you get filled here, that you have a nice average buy-in then of around $140. Once this is coming back to the upside, you will be in massive gains here. The first take profit point where I would take 20% off the table is here at $167.50. Your stop loss should be then somewhere around 155, and then you can write this up into the next target here of 194, 199, potentially even 200, where I would take another 50%. Then your take profit 1 becomes your stop loss, and then I would just write the rest to the upside. The other 25% is your moon back. You can already not lose anymore. You took already 75% of your position out. 25 remains with a stop loss and profit. So you can absolutely not lose anything on this trade anymore in that scenario. So that is how I would play this here. So here in the short term, I definitely expect now that Solana is coming down here a little bit and bounces here in this area up and down around before we're going to see continuation to the upside. Because also here that was over the last couple of days quite a run from 116 to like $150 almost. So that is almost a 30% move in the last 3 days. One coin that I'm super bullish on is TON, the Telegram coin. Here also rising wedge forming. It looks like that we start to break down from this rising wedge. The Monday high would be the next best entry if you don't want to stack your orders in that buy zone. So, but which you normally should do, So just buy now a little bit. If it goes lower, buy again a little bit, and then at the Monday high, I would use the rest. Because most likely what we're going to see is a small deviation under the Monday high, then come back up, and then actually it's going to send to the upside. So here my take profit areas. Again, same strategy like on Solana. First take profit from $6.16 to $6.44. In that area, you can just close out 25% out of your position. And then the next one is here at $7.08 and $7.28. Here again, you close out 50% of your position. And then you can write the rest as a moon back to the upside here. Also remarkable that we finally broke this downward sloping trend line that we were held down from for how long? Also like 3 weeks, three weeks of downwards trend finally came to an end here. I don't expect that we come back to retest this downward sloping trend line. I believe that worst case, like I said, Monday low, so which is a 4% move to the downside, 4% correction, and then continuation to the upside. The next one is Fetch. Fetch is also something that I'm trading right now. Here, if we can hold $2.17, I would expect that we rally from here in direction of $2.80 and potentially even $3. Here we were forming a falling wedge that we have broken out to the upside. The target is at $2.64 here on this 12-hourly chart. But most likely what's going to happen here, because the indicators are a little bit overextended, at least the stochastic is coming here now into overbought territory, and the RSI is flatlining. So if here is not any kind of momentum coming in over the next 12 hours, then most likely we are coming back down to like the $2, $1.95 area, where you can then again bid the retest of this level. And then we are moving up in this, in this kind of manner to the upside. Here I play this a little bit different. Here I'm not taking anything off the table until $2.84. I think it is $2.80, sorry, $2.80 is the level where I want to take profits off the table. Here I take 50% off, and the rest I write beyond $3 in this bull run, because I believe Fetch is such a strong coin, and there is a DeFi summer coming, in my opinion, where coins like Fetch and an AI summer, where coins like Fetch will absolutely explode to the upside. And I can imagine to see Fetch around the $5, $6, $7 mark by the end of July. So, and therefore I want to have a moon back of that. So that is a conviction play. You don't have to follow me on that. But this is a conviction play where I'm going to sell only 50% up here on my leverage position, and the rest I'm going to hold for the long term. The next one is ICP. ICP just got rejected from the golden ratio, the 0.618, down here at $13.73 and $13.95. Here I also believe the way that this daily chart is shaping up here, so here could be also a W pattern be in the making. So if we reclaim $15.60, that will basically the confirmation, with the retest of the neckline over the next coming days. But I want to get in down here at the golden ratio, and I'm going to tell you why. Because if we can reclaim that, first of all, it is confirmed resistance. And if we break above that level, that will flip this into support. So it is kind of safe to enter there. So we can front run this pattern potentially a little bit. And we are also confirming that this downward sloping trend here from the daily chart is finally absolutely broken. So something else that is pointing to that is that the stochastic RSI is about to give a buy signal. MACD is bullish, only the RSI is going sideways. But if we get here a nice push above the golden ratio, also this will fall in line, and we're going to see then continuation. And here again, this is also a conviction play. I don't want to sell anything below $20.54, which will give me over 50% of a profit. Then the next level is $27, where I'm going to sell the rest of this position on leverage. So this trade is actually something that I'm going to open on BYBIT. If you want to follow me for this trade, you can. I will actually post this in my Telegram and on Discord around the $14 mark. So once we're breaking $14, that will be for me the moment where I want to enter this position. So just join my Telegram, join my Discord. If you have a BYBIT account registered with my link, then you can follow this trade in real time. The other position that I'm looking at is Ondo. Ondo also in this rising wedge pattern here. Here we have two scenarios how this can play out. One is that we are also here breaking down from the rising wedge, coming back to 77 cents and getting a bounce from there, then move here in the direction of $1. Actually exactly to $1. The other way how this could play out is that we are breaking out of this rising wedge, getting a retest of this upward sloping trend line, basically the resistance line of this rising wedge, and then actually move in the direction of $1. So the level that you need to watch here, if we get a break to the upside first, will be this one here, where you want to enter. So here, this is your area where you want to enter from 83 to 85 cents, but you should have a tight stop loss. So my stop loss on this trade would be basically here at 81 cents. So it's a really tight one. There is a chance that it will wick me out at some point if we are not immediately seeing a big impulse move to the upside, and then just a retest into this right now resistance area, which should be then support and a bounce back to the upside. So otherwise, if you take this from down here, your stop loss can be here like at a little bit lower, can be like 73 cents ish. So 73 cents is fine. It's like a 4%, 5% actually, 5% stop loss. So that's something that I can live with. The other one is Filecoin. Also here, rising wedge. We are in the second buy zone. Would I buy here right now? Potentially not, unless I would see a break above $6.33 with a really, really big breakout candle, something like this, because most likely this is going to retrace and come back into the second buy zone. Then I would buy this. because then it will do something like this. If we are not seeing something like this playing out, then most likely at some point we are breaking down from this rising wedge. Then you can buy here at $5.77 approximately, and then we see basically the same thing. So also here, a potential inverse head and shoulders playing out. We just need to complete this pattern. The $6.10 level will be our neckline. Once we are breaking this, that should give us technical target here of around $7 from what I'm seeing here based on this 4-hourly chart. And that's basically it for this video, guys, here already. I gave you a lot of altcoins, so we can make you a lot of money together again. Just make sure that you don't over leverage yourself, and don't forget, smash the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and I'll see you then again with more money tomorrow.